All right, hello, what's up? So, welcome to Let's Talk Content, where basically what we do is talk content and nothing else. I mean, there is nothing else to talk about, but yeah, that's what we do. And what we're going to do is talk about this film called Fallen Angel. It's a Wonka Wai film that we three of us have chosen to talk about. Like, we just saw this film yesterday, and now we are just going to have like a small discussion as to why this film is a good film and whether it's a good film or not. That we will get to know this after we have this conversation. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, this is a 1995 film, so just letting you guys know that there are going to be a lot of spoilers. We are just going to dissect the film left, right, and center. So if you are watching this and you haven't seen the film, don't watch this film. Don't watch this video. And if you want to know why you should watch this film, and if you've seen this film, watch this video. And if you don't, I don't know. I don't care anymore. So let's just discuss. Let's just start. We have Shaunak. Shaunak is an assistant director in Mumbai and a good friend. And we have Manan. Manan and I have been like creating videos for a very long time. I mean, since the time, I mean, we started theater together and made videos. And even Shaunak. So, I mean, we three of us, we three are this film enthusiasts who have no clue about how film works, but we want to know more about how this film thing works. So, yeah, let's start, guys. Yeah,
Let's begin.
let's begin. So, I'm just going to present the screen and rightly jump into it. Here. All right. You guys can see this, right? Awesome. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, एक second, I'm just going to check this. Okay, we are still recording. Okay. So, Fallen Angels. Let's start. What are your first thoughts? Like your first thought about this film, and the moment you saw this film, what was that first thought that came into your head? That why this film?
Manan, you want to go first or?
Yeah, I can go first. So the first thing when the film started, the best thing that I saw was the storytelling of the director and the awesome cinematography. I mean, I don't think he follow any particular rules, but he was just presenting his own idea of how a character is behaving, how a character looks, and how a character's mentality is in the whole film. So the visuals of the film are great to look at. I did not enjoy the story a lot, but I really like the storytelling, and that was very engaging. Rather than fast cuts and all that, the whole framing, the whole perspective of the director, the whole mentality of the character. So this is a very unique kind of film, which is worth a watch. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with the fact that this movie, the way it starts, it starts with a black and white where two characters are sitting to have a very wide close of the female character. And dono just start करते and they are like, why is this happening? Should we be in a partnership? And then suddenly there is this beautiful montage of the lady going to that place where the guy assassin is there and she's trying to kill. And I mean, it's such a treat to watch that there is so much silence in that 5 to 6 minutes when you watch. कि starting में वो बंदा जाता है, पहले पहले बंदी जाती है. You see her entire journey from the place she goes to the subway में जाती है, she goes to the place and all of that, and you see those yellows, the way it is framed and everything. And after that you don't know what is going to happen, so she's cleaning that room, everything is happening, fart, and then suddenly cut to the guy comes to the same room, and then he sleeps, and then he starts his first dialogue and he says that I am a lazy person, I always need somebody to take care of my surroundings, take care of what I do, which I felt was a very interesting way to start and get to know how this worked. But yeah, Shaunak, your first thoughts?
There was one very interesting fact that I loved about the opening scene was the treatment, that is the rawness of the film. And I loved the fact that the director, I don't know if he did it intentionally or not, but it caught my eye definitely. That was he compared a life of a person to a speed of a train. So if you see very clearly, all the shots are clearly juxtaposed with fast trains moving outside the window and fast cutting between the character introductions. So if you see the woman also who you see in the starting, she's coming in the fast cuts. We see she's cleaning, she's doing something. She goes, she picks up the keys, goes to the room, and it's all synced with the speed of the train. And there was one more thing that caught my eye particularly was I don't know if he did it intentionally. Again, I'll say that, but if you see a train's compartment, a bogie is a rectangular piece of thing, and when you see all the frames, majority of the frames in the film, it was just like a train bogie. So it took us on a journey like these people are connected, just just like people are connected in a train. So different bogies join together, and if you go and if you see any frame in the film, they look similar to a train's bogie. So just take like the house in the beginning, the street, the barber shop, the meat shop, or whatever, the tunnel, the photograph that you have right now on screen, the tunnel also. It all looks like a long train or a bogie in a train. And he has clearly mentioned about it in the starting when the train goes really fast and he's fast cutting with those speed. You feel the energy and you feel the rawness of it. So that was a very good eye-catching moment for me personally. And then it goes ahead. So yeah, that was what caught my eye.
So
I think that's an interesting
really nice observation, actually.
Yeah. It's an interesting observation. I mean, we technically didn't get to know. I mean,
but one thing that I saw in the movie is that how the director also emphasized the character's loneliness. Is that in every frame when the character's exterior shot is shown, there is nobody except in the restaurant, but in the train scene or in the other scenes, he is the only character that is in the exterior environment. That's how he emphasizes his loneliness. Like when the girl is also entering the train station. So that are the kind of details that the directors worked on.
That's true. There are a lot of negative spaces that were established very clearly.
Yes.
If you see a frame, there was too many negative spaces, but I thought it was like what I felt was it was like a travel film where everybody is looking for a partner, or they're looking for satisfaction, or they're looking for happiness. And I think that is what ultimately we do when we want to travel. We look for people, we look for company, and ultimately we look for satisfaction and happiness. So I thought this film took me on a journey and showed me a different point of view of how travel could be. Any travel could be. Like travel or holiday or whatever.
Before jumping on to, the fact that, okay, directly into the plot, I mean, let's just appreciate how interesting the premise is, जैसे हम लोग film start करते हैं, you get to know there is an assassin. There is somebody, assassin's partner, who is a cleaner of the house, who have never met and are meeting for the first time. And the cleaner or the woman, she falls in love with the partner. So she is trying to, we open to the scene where she's like, should I have an emotional relationship with my partner? So just like, मैं जब ये सोच रहा था, like when I was thinking about it, I mean, when we think of characters or their professions or, how these characters work, for me, I always go like, okay, fine, okay, what is my relatability of the character? This is where my character will be, and this is what his environment is. Now imagine this our third guy who is mute, the mute guy who goes to different shops and finds happiness and meets new people late in the night when the shops are open or shops are closed. So his way of approaching life is basically doing business at oddly hours of different people. Now how interesting is this character on paper? Imagine that, if we talk about this character or assassin, who would have thought that assassin also falls in love? Assassin will also betray people. He will also be like, hey, I will just do a one night stand with you and just, forget things. I don't want to be in an emotional attachment relationship. Then this character, the popular the shop guy who go and do this scene. I think we have it in the yeah. I love this scene. I love this scene where he forces this guy, this specific guy, all the time to get into do what like all the things that he does, and he's like, "I'll pay you money." He's like, I don't want your money. Just I'm doing a business. Just do it."
Yeah, he wants company and he wants satisfaction of happiness. That's what we discussed earlier also. So that's why he turns around to these people. He always wants somebody in his life. So maybe that guy who is pulling hair and calling inside the truck and offering ice cream, or the girl he roams around with eventually loses, and the last girl again who he meets. So he is in constant search of somebody. That was a arc that I thought that character had. And one more thing that was connecting all the characters was because, as you said very truly, that all the characters are very uniquely portrayed. But I thought there is one thing that is connecting all the characters, and it was like they are trying to make peace with inanimate objects because they're so secluded in that box, that train box or whatever you call, and they're so secluded in life that they are trying to make peace and they're trying to get satisfaction and happiness out of inanimate objects. So if I actually point out, like pig, you saw a scene where he's massaging a pig, right? Then you saw a
Yeah.
scene where the lady is actually seducing herself to a jukebox music. Then you
Right.
saw a scene where the guy is shooting with guns, and for that instance also the mute guy when he is filming himself on a camera. So all this inanimate objects are becoming a part of their isolation, and those things they're using to gain something out of it, or
Also,
maybe
the entry of
fighting
the
themselves.
character was inside a box. He was sitting in a box having a cigarette, and then he opens the door. So that was also a
Hmm.
significance of it.
Yes, definitely.
I think the best thing मुझे ये चीज का लगता है कि the director has taken so much efforts to bring us to the core of the movie, which is like that everybody has that void of happiness, and every character, how much ever complex they are, all they are looking for a little bit of satisfaction or the happiness that Shaunak talked about. So I mean, let's just go to the next thing, which is yeah. So after the first reaction, I mean, we directly jumped into the thoughts or whatever. But second question is that what is that one thing after finishing the movie that still stayed with you? What is that? It might be a visual, the plot, the music, anything. But what is that one thing that stayed with you?
The fact
One
that
thing that,
the film was not decorated to a very higher level, because if you see films today, it is shot properly, proper framing, proper camera angles, proper costumes, proper makeup and everything. I thought this film had such good rawness that it was very easy to enter that world and come out of that world. But if you see something like a fiction film in a 16 by 9 theater or whatever it is, you you sympathize with the character at some level. But I thought in this film, with this kind of treatment, you can completely go inside and you can live the journey that your characters are actually living, because it is shot in such a way, it is treated in such a way, and you feel very close to the characters because at every turn and every point there is something happening, that inciting incident that is happening every minute in the film. So you don't feel lost, or you don't feel loosen out. You are like, okay, something is going to happen, so you stay with the characters, you stay with the plot. So I think that is the thing that always keeps you connected whenever you're watching this.
Anand?
so what I observed was after 50% of the film, you realize that it is actually a love story. It is not
Right.
a crime or a drama. It's just a love story of how two people met. But at the end of the film, what I observed was the expression of the characters did not change. I mean, when they lost somebody, they were the same. When they found somebody, they were the same. So it was not affecting their lives. The partners weren't affecting their lives.
Mm.
It was still the
Mm.
same. Even throughout the film, there are not many expressions that you can see.
Right. So I mean, the absurdity of the cinematography that I have seen, like I have seen a few interviews of Christopher Doyle, the DOP of this film, and when you listen to his interviews, you realize that okay, fine, he's a sane guy, he's a normal guy, and he wouldn't do as dramatic or drastic like this as you see in this film called In the Mood of Love. There the films are static, there is a more play of color and all of that. But here it's just like you are actually sitting on a roller coaster and there's a GoPro in front of you. And you are just walking, cut. Things are happening. And so this is for the first time that I saw that people like, a DOP actually played with a slower FPS and made you feel that, a glitch in a scene is also fine. A higher ISO and a higher grains on your screen where the screen is just filled with your grains. It's not a perfect frame, but still you are watching it. You are part of that character, and you are feeling it like कि नहीं ये perfect frame नहीं है, lighting based नहीं है, but you are still watching it. And what a that's such a beauty of a DOP where they like he made you accept the errors of cinematography, if I have to tell you that even if the shadow of the character used to fall on the the secondary characters, it was okay, it was fine. Like he didn't, there was maybe there were chances that there was just one practical line and the character is completely the secondary character is not even lit at the moment, and technically that's an error. You try to lit that character and all of that, but the DOP and the directors were okay with it, and the aestheticness of that scenes, the way it engages you with that fast cuts and the cinematography, you just feel like that even if you don't want to watch it, you still watch it because you'll feel what you will come up with. That one of the scenes where our assassin dies. There is this one shot
Yeah.
where the camera goes all around 360.
180 degrees. 360
But
degrees, correct.
it just goes 360 degrees. So first, it's like there's a lot of jitter. Like it's like a stop motion. So like वो मारता है, and then suddenly it just goes 360, and the dialogue in the background starts. And that one particular moment for me, I felt it's like wow, what did I just see? Like why how like how confident as a DOP you have to be to take this much risk and execute.
Yeah.
So
the connecting to your point, there was one more thing that you said, that there was no aesthetics or nothing. They broke every rule, like
Exactly.
you say, the 180-degree rule
Yes,
and the rule of thirds and all the rules that they teach you in film school or whatever. They broke every rule, and we can actually say the imperfections of the film made it a perfect film.
exactly.
It was perfect in terms of everything, but it was the perfect output after all.
The beauty is that the director knew what to convey from the script to the audience, and the technique and the technology doesn't matter. We can feel what the characters are feeling, and that was the beauty of the film, regardless of whatever. Yes.
I mean, look at this. See, look at this scene. Okay, now imagine when this is one of a very genius way to crack up the tension, because right before this scene, this guy has killed a bunch of people. You are seeing, oh, there is a lot of action that has happened, and suddenly he sits into the bus, and then he says this dialogue: "Every person has his own past," and it's just outrightly funny because he meets his primary school friend, and he's like, "Hey, remember me? I used to be the topper of the class." So to me, it is what a beautiful way to break the tension. And you look at the camera angle, man. I mean, is it even straight? Is it focusing on the face? I mean, I can't even like this is how you take an OTT. What is this? There is no way you can define this shot. And I mean, when you have that way to like to have a dialogue, मतलब समझ हम लोग एक dialogue ले रहे हैं, तो अपना पहला दिमाग में चलता है भाई इसके शोल्डर के पीछे कैमरा लगाओ, सामने इसको बिठाओ, इसका थोड़ा दिखना चाहिए सामने वाले का, let's have a conversation. But we never thought of this कि भाई चल 18 mm लगाते, 16 mm लगाते, उसके फेस पे क्लोज डालते, उसके पीछे इसको बिठा, बैकग्राउंड में दिखेगा वो, फर्क नहीं पड़ता, डिस्टॉर्ट होता है उन्हें तो अपने को नहीं फर्क पड़ता, तू कैमरा रोल कर, एंड नाउ लेट्स हैव अ कन्वर्सेशन. आई मीन लुक एट दिस गाय, लुक एट हिज फेस, आई मीन look at his face. I mean, do you talk like this to somebody?
No. This is a very interesting point, Arjun, what you just said, because we can see in this framing also, and there are many more certain similar events that is happening in the film. That your main character is always in the foreground, and the person who is influencing you or her is always in the background. So it's just like some aura that is constantly telling you what to do, or constantly trying to hamper your decisions or your thoughts. So like that, the first one, the first shot.
This scene, look at this. Like,
Yeah, this one. This was in the end.
Yeah.
And this was like, this shot I particularly liked because I thought that, you know, after whatever she faced and the arc that she traveled through or whatever, she finally found peace with something, and whatever is happening behind her, now she doesn't care at all. Because
Yeah.
she is completely into herself and she has found that path, or she has, maybe if you can say, if this is a travel film, she has reached the destination where she wanted to be. So
Correct.
now she doesn't care of what is happening behind her. So now the things that are behind her does not influence anymore. So it's a good travel from things that are influencing you, which are behind you, and now it is not. So it's a good travel if you actually understand this.
She started off like this, crying on the bed
Mm.
with a smoke, and now she is this,
Yes.
at peace. So
What a good
that
arc.
that's a great arc to, and you know these black and white frames. Like, okay, so let's just talk about one scene from the movie that you were like, dude, what a scene, man. I don't know, I just love this scene. So
I
yeah.
had this black and white thinking, like black and white I just thought, and I briefly kind of had a study about this when I was in my college. And if you look at it, this is just a thought again. It's not a thing that I'm saying, but all the black and white frames in the film is a point where you are, or not you, I mean the character is giving up something or sacrificing something that they really like, or it is an end of a journey. So if you see all the black and white films, all the black and white frames, this one also. So they're talking about the contact. In this one, it says forget him. So now you have to move past to something. There's one more black and white frame where that guy, the assassinator, gets a wedding card and he throws it out of the window, and that is also a black and white frame. And he says that before that, you know, I always wanted to go to a wedding, but then he throws it off. So this is something that you or the characters really wanted, but because the travel is so uncertain, they have to let go things. And when those let going things are coming in the film, I think those are the things that they have portrayed in black and white.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a very interesting point, you know, like to identify those points in your film, that, oh, these are the points where my character will go through an internal conflict of sacrificing something, you know, and identifying those points and keeping those touch points and communicating that with the DOP. I mean, what a genius of a direction that is, where you are so sure about your screenplay, you're so sure about your plot, you're so sure about that one scene that, you know, you are like, oh, this is where I need to sprinkle my pepper. This is where I need to sprinkle my pepper. And I think that will add up to my entire film. And which is like a great way to look into the detail of anything that we do. You know, like for example, when we are ready with all this stuff, if we add all this little bit of masala of, you know, okay, why, okay, let's just put a black and white scene, but why? So that journey, when we define together, when we, you know, when we, whatever, we write something or whatever, then it creates a separate meaning to your entire film, you know. And then it also creates an intrigue. Like as a viewer, it creates an intrigue in me that, oh, why are those black and white scenes? And now when you give a reason to me and tell me that, oh, these are the moments in individual's life where they could have accomplished something, but they didn't, and they couldn't. So they had to let go of it. And
Yeah,
if you
or
see,
they have eliminated the desires. Like
exactly. So all of these scenes say the same thing, which is quite interesting to, you know, know. Okay, and all right.
So talking about the love story, मतलब वो दो कैरेक्टर्स जिस तरीके से मिलते हैं, मतलब अगर वो कॉल कर रही है, उसको डाई मारती है, फिर वो कॉल पे मतलब एक्चुअल अगर तुम डायरेक्टर ने उस तरीके से दिखाया है कि पूरा अलग तरीके का हमको लग रहा है, लेकिन एक्चुअल में थोड़ा बॉलीवुड टोन भी है उसमें, कि वो जैसे लड़की फोन पे है, वो साइड पे सिक कर रहा है, फिर उसको लेके निकल जाती है वो, लेकिन जब डायरेक्टर का जो पर्सपेक्टिव है पूरा चेंज लाता है फिल्म में.
I agree. I mean, ये जो तूने बोला है, कि थोड़ा like I found it funny that entire film is a coincidence. और मतलब सबको मिल रहे, ये क्यों हो रहा है,
सबको मिल रहा है. हाँ.
तो ये मेरे लिए even I couldn't digest that one thing where one character who is like a very interesting assassin who has this one random cleaner, she goes out and towards the end meets some random guy, and it's all intertangled between like 3-4 characters we see in the film. But it's also sometimes a little bit कि यार you are unable to digest, maybe because we have seen such linear stories, but it's a little bit कि कि हाँ बस अभी ज्यादा हो रहा है, कि अभी सबको मिलवाने की जरूरत नहीं, चलेगा कुछ एक दिखाओ. But I would like to point out here that the director has done a very phenomenal job when it comes to closing the characters. Every character, when you see, they are closed with a dialogue of a poetry. Like when you because when the assassin is introduced, he says 3-4 lines about himself and who is he. When he dies, he says a particular line, who is he. And when you connect those lines, it's like a poetry in motion. And also with the same, also with this guy as well. This guy has a void. He never finds somebody, and he says this line. When he's driving, he says this line that I never felt the warmth, but it's winter and now I do. And in this first scene, this girl says the same thing. She's like, it's winter and I never felt the warmth, but now I do. There is some level of warmth so I mean in that sense where when the moment you feel like हाँ ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो रहा है, the director brings you back कि like I have something more to offer.
I mean the same poetic line like women are like water. There is a line in the film.
Yeah.
But sometimes men are like water too.
There was one more dialogue, because we are talking about dialogues. There is one dialogue that really hit me hard and which is actually very true. It is the dialogue was, going through a person's trash can tell you a lot about them. I was like, okay, this is kind of a thing that is actually very true, very relatable, because people have that tendency. Everyone has that tendency that they want to, not for gossip purposes, but just to know what's happening in somebody else's life. And if you give them a darker side of it, they are more interested in knowing them. And I think when you touch that part of a person's journey or person's core, what is a darker side, I think you can know him better or her better, whoever. But yeah, I mean that dialogue really hits hard whenever you listen to that.
I mean, yeah, there are so many multiple dialogues. That the guy says that I fell in love for the first time, but I'm a late boomer. I think I'm a late boomer. Which says a lot about the character, that he always wanted to fall in love, but he didn't. And he's such a, the time when he fell in love is too late for him and he knows about it.
Correct.
See, this one, I finally fell in love for the first time.
But I'm a late boomer.
And even that, this is when she says that, should we be emotional in our partnership? Should there be any emotional attachments in any kind of partnership that we have? All right. I think we talked about the aspect. I think the dialogue, plot, and the cinematography. Yes, one more point that I wanted to highlight was all of this. The way you see the city, the way you see the city, the trains, and every environment. The way environment is built in the film is so good. You always feel you are part of. yeah, you always know you are part of the film. At every point in time, you will feel that you have been to Hong Kong, even though you have never been to Hong Kong, but you will feel like you know Hong Kong very well. I mean that's a very interesting way to shoot a particular environment where you make believe your viewer so much that it exists
Yeah.
and it's your world.
And there's, because you're talking about cinematography, there's one more interesting thing in the film that was very noticeable, and I was like, okay, this is a very justy, like it's the DOP did a very good justice with whatever he did. That was the mirror shots, all the
Oh,
mirror shots used in the film. So if you see the persons, because I thought why mirror, and then I was thinking about it, and I thought कि all the characters जो भी characters है अपने उनको रियलिटी दिखाने वाला उनके आसपास कोई नहीं है because when they get mingled around with anybody they are into different world. So to come back to reality and to know their own identity, I thought the mirror was the only option. So whenever if that lady is doing the lipstick, the man is taking out the bullet, and then in the end when he removes the gun in the black and white shot and comes back to his own reality after traveling the world, and in the bar, that photograph that you just showed, forget him wo wala, she's sitting, bar mein bhi mirror hai, and she's, yeah, this one, she's sitting and listening, forget him. So this is her reality now, and mirrors are supposed to reflect reality. So I think it was a very smart use and very correct use of this thing in the film. And whenever you see, even in that bus scene which you showed, वो पीछे बैठा है वो आगे बैठा है, उनका भी एक mirror shot है, उनका भी एक mirror shot है. So everywhere, wherever the mirrors are used in the film, you think that it is very justified and very, it's a really commendable job that you can't really think about it. And when I saw that, it actually connects me to the theory of this one, like all the films that are made in French and everything, and the theory of melodrama also, because use of mirrors and use of such aesthetics are very formally used in melodrama genre. So I thought those aspects were nicely shown and nicely portrayed.
I think we need to take care now that whenever we write something, we don't loosely put a mirror anywhere and just be like,
Yeah.
oh, the character is looking into the mirror and combing her hair. I mean, there has to be some sense to it.
Something
Like,
significant. That's it.
yeah, I think something more deeper and more like, because I mean, this is with all the characters, I just feel ki these are not the characters that I will write anytime. It's so out of, like, for me the characters have been like a biggest deal. Like, these are the characters I would never even think of. Like, I was just awed by the fact that, oh wow, somebody can think like this also, make an assassinator feel like an assassin fall in love also, like that is where I was in the awe कि यार ये अलग ही चल रहा है. So yeah.
That's true.
मतलब
This one
इतने
also,
सारे
this is a very
characters
good
हैं.
shot where she
हाँ,
continue.
sorry, मतलब इतने सारे कैरेक्टर्स है, लेकिन कैरेक्टर्स की हम कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स में चले जाते हैं, हमको मालूम पड़ जाता है कि कौन सा कैरेक्टर की लाइफ क्या है. मतलब जिस तरीके का उनका प्रीमाइस है, उनका एक्सप्रेशन है, उनके सराउंडिंग में जो लोग भी है, तो इतने सारे कैरेक्टर होने के बावजूद भी मतलब ऐसा नहीं लगता कि कोई भी सेपरेटेड है, सब लोग एक ही स्टोरी के पार्ट है. तो ये
even ये बंदे का जो रिलेशनशिप उसके फादर के साथ होता है,
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली.
and the way it is shot, sometimes you just feel that he's your father. You get into that story. You are like ये मतलब ये बक्सर यही कर रहा है. He's taking the camera, he's going out, and you also feel that at some point in time, if camera is given to you, you will also do the same thing.
तो उसका रिलेशन टीवी के साथ, और फिर जब उसके और उसके पापा की स्टोरी आगे बढ़ती है, तो उसके पापा भी वो वीडियो एंजॉय करने लगते हैं एट द एंड मोमेंट.
Right.
तो ये भी काफी
his purpose of serving happiness.
सर्विंग हैप्पीनेस. हाँ.
See,
Yeah, this shot was amazing. Again, the use of mirror in this one is amazing.
Okay.
He portrays reality to the point.
right.
And that one was for animated. This one portrays reality at point. And this one again, as I said, how they cling upon inanimate objects to maybe remove the frustration or gain satisfaction, gain happiness. तो उसको वो blonde लड़की मिली ना मिली, but ये जो भी मिला उसको तो सूट डाला उसने. And
मतलब अल्टीमेटली वो जानती भी नहीं है. हाँ, कि वो कैरेक्टर को जानती भी नहीं है, पर उतनी फ्रस्ट्रेट हो गई है कि कुछ भी कर रही है. She just took the guy from that place and ran to just hit her, and she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So that was a nice symbolism actually.
What a shot, man! Look at this.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Beautiful
There's
shot.
nothing. But what a shot.
You see the line that is on the top and the road line. There is a visual good symmetry. I mean,
Now there is symmetry, you know. Now when you look at the tunnel, there is somewhere you find the symmetry. अभी तक मतलब, see, so there is symmetry. Now you if you look at the genius, there is symmetry in the seat. See, this is a Dutch angle. If I'm not wrong, आड़ा है ना ये angle.
Dutch angles, off-grid cinematography.
Look at this angle.
Things that are not supposed to be done, he did it.
Yeah.
he just emphasized on the fact that how to convey my message, regardless of the Dutch angle and the reverse angle and the forward angle.
True.
Even the last shot was very good. Just go to the last shot that I said. This one. In the whole film is shot in dark and night. This is the last shot of the film when the camera comes out of the tunnel and the light is exposed. I thought that holds a very big symbolism that at the end of any journey, maybe there is light.
So look at this now. This is the tunnel and this is the light. And that's how the shot
This
is.
is the light, correct.
You go with the bike, whatever, then you go into the person's face, you look at a face, and then it just goes back to you see the light, you know.
Light.
Yeah.
It's
So
morning.
you see the previous shot of the girl drinking the cigarette, when you see that, you can find peace on her face, which was not available at any frame in the whole movie. I mean, she's peaceful. You can see that.
Nirvana moment.
हाँ, निर्वाणा मतलब शांति ऐसा. और फाइनली जब वो स्मोक पूरा क्लाउड में जाता है and relates to the sky.
Agree.
Right. So I think so. I mean, if so, from beginning, like our first thoughts to whatever the premise was, to great cinematography of Christopher Nolan, to fast cuts, you know, making the character being part of that journey, and believing an unrational, you know, for me it was not rational. Everything, all these characters coming together, falling in love and doing whatever was not rational to me, but still believing that this story can exist. I mean
the characters, yes. So the characters can meet coincidentally, but their ending has to be logical. They need a reason to separate. So
exactly. And I think the way director is, you know, stayed true to the core that human beings have a void, and that void can be present in anybody and everybody. So what we look for is a fulfillment of that void. And now I'm just going to take you on a journey of 3-4 different characters and see how they fill into their voids, which I feel was, I think, solved very well in throughout the film. And I think it's a great watch to understand as to how, you know, you can just go ballistic with your camera and shoot some of the weirdest scenes and make people believe that, oh wow, what just happened, you know. Not like one of those films where you be like, अरे यार दिमाग फट गया, but दिमाग also फटा क्योंकि cinematography भी काफी सही था. Like, you know, the way it was directed was also insane. वैसा. So last thoughts on the film, and we'll close this.
Last thought, one question I had, why, like, still I am thinking what would be the reason they called it Fallen Angels?
Nice. I've been trying to decode that in this podcast or whatever this video or this is. Who are fallen angels?
Who are fallen angels?
Exactly.
I think see, all the characters were human. I mean,
Hmm.
they had their individual characteristics, but at the end of the day, they were all individuals, And I think this is my point of view that Fallen Angels is all of us, the
Hmm.
the people who live,
Yeah.
who have a journey, or who have, because everybody has that set of journey, and they go through a particular way to achieve nirvana, happiness, whatever you call it.
Hmm.
And I think these are the fallen angels. Like we somewhere
They are
when
good people, I mean,
yeah,
but because of the situation, because of the void of their heart, I mean, they are behaving in a certain manner until it is fulfilled.
Fallen angels who are trying to get up and walk. Maybe that.
maybe who knows.
Maybe, I mean.
But yeah,
But
so it's an interesting watch. Great watch to have.
it's a very good visual experience, you can tell. And
Yeah.
if you start this film, I don't think
100%.
you are going to
Stop in
end it
between and
without
be like,
completing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Completely agree. I started this movie when I was half asleep, but I had to be awake for at least 1.5 hours to complete this film and watch it. So no star ratings or whatever, but these are a bunch of guys who wanted to talk about this film, and I think we did talk about this film. And
Yeah, great insight.
great insight, a lot to learn, how to break rules and
Yeah.
break it properly.
Mm.
Yes.
So yeah.
Break it properly. You are creating your own rules.
Yeah. So I mean, lot to watch more about Wong Kar-wai, and I think interesting director to look forward to as well, and understanding his way
I
of
mean,
cinema.
greatest thing to learn from Wong Kar-wai is invent your own style.
Yeah,
Don't go after the bookish or theoretical
Yeah.
knowledge of the cinema. Just see what is your script that you like and make it your film, rather than what people
Unconventional.
will like and not. Yes.
yeah. So exactly, and I mean,
Unconventional method.
we should also strive for the fact that look into more of Wong Kar-wai cinema and analyzing it, so that by the end of watching like a bunch of 5-6 movies, we know who Wong Kar-wai is, what is his style, and how he does it. So that's how you know about a painter, right? You see a lot of his paintings, and then okay, Michelangelo did this, and this is how he does it. This is what his style is, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean that's a practice, but good first episode to end with on Let's
Yeah.
Talk Content.
Definitely.
Let's talk content, and yeah, we are three people who like to talk about, not talk, but yeah, watch and talk and inculcate on what do we do, because we want to make this a lifestyle. We want to make filmmaking a lifestyle and keep going with it. So yeah, I think we are done with the first episode. Cheers for coming in. And if you
Great
guys are
job.
watching this, then watch. That's and
Great job, Harshil, and great
enjoy.
observation, Shauna.
Yeah, same.
Cool. So let's
Let's
sign
get
off.
back in the next
And next one, let's do it. And yeah, I mean, we should also do this practice. I was just wondering about this, that if somebody is interested who is watching this video and wants to be part of this conversation, I think we should get more people, like a bunch of
Definitely.
4 people. Like I mean, we 3 are so definitely are going to be here, but I mean, get one more random person who is also a cinema enthusiast and wants to add to the conversation. I think that'll also add a lot of insight to our way of watching cinema.
Yeah. That's the beauty of cinema. Everybody has different set of eyes and everybody has a different perspective and how they take the film and digest it. So it would be good, as you said, to bring in more people, and maybe it's possible that whatever point of views or whatever things that we are thinking, it might be different from what they are thinking, and we
Right.
can learn more from that. So yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
And I'm also thinking to when, like, as this channel, as we grow, and what I was thinking about, we should also read up screenplays. Like, now that we have seen the film, we can also read up the screenplay to understand as to how this director translated this impossible task.
Correct.
you know,
Yes.
and get into the habit of people who are watching it. They also should be like, you know, oh wow, this is the scene that we like, and we are just on a video call live, whatever, reading it so
Yeah,
that
so
we,
yeah, that is a
yeah,
great idea. Rather than discussing the whole film, we can just take a whole scene of a 1 minute and dissect it. I mean, every scene
Correct.
is created like poetically, so you can have hours of discussion over one scene. I mean, that's how the beauty of cinema
Yes.
is.
Mm.
cool.
There is a
Do
completely
that.
opposite tactic. There's a completely opposite tactic that Tarantino also does when he used to do. Like he goes, watches a film, comes home, remembers the scene, and then writes it down, and then tries to compare if it's real or not.
Oh,
Hmm.
nice.
So we can do that also. Like just
Yeah.
think about it, close the book, and then start writing whatever you remember.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we three can come up with 3 different versions. Who knows?
Yes,
Yeah, correct.
that's the perspective I think we should convey to the audience.
Yeah, and I think this habit of watching good content and you know, creating this space for people who like watching good content, I think that's a great way to go. So let's sign off for
Yes,
today.
Let's sign up for today.
great, superb.
And if you guys have any kind of recommendation as to what we should watch next, and if you want to be part of this video, we are all open for it. Just come, we'll have a conversation for an hour and chill. That's all we do at night. Watch a film and have a conversation about it. Signing off, Harshin, Manan, and Shaunak from Let's Talk Content. Goodbye.
See you guys.
Cheers, guys.